Yes, people, how we doing? A beautiful Monday, glorious Monday. We're still here, we're still breathing, just about. Probably liberties are disappearing, like the Mary Celeste. But we're still here, we've still got our cognitive ability. So with that, you've got to look at it as a positive. We're still dangerous to those that don't want us to have that cognitive ability. So with that, hello guys, hope you're doing okay. Big thank you to all support, new and old subscribers. As we know, the world has been stricken with the George Floyd narrative, which we all know the effects of. We all know how it started. And I guess we've all got our own initial thoughts on what we consider to be the truth and not the truth. Narrative driven, even though it was horrible what happened. That happened on the 25th of May. Now, I was just perusing yesterday on some of the websites I look at, and it brought to my attention something that happened in Arizona, right? And I'll be honest with you, there was a couple of reasons why it got my attention. One of them was this incident that I'm about to talk about happened on the 22nd of May. Now, anyone who doesn't know that's actually my birthday. It was my 50th birthday, just gone on the 22nd of May. So to hear that this happened was pretty sad. Things are inevitably going to happen on your birthday. You can't make the world stop. But to initially see it, it's not nice. If anyone remembers the actual bombing in Manchester, which got my YouTube really up and going, was on my birthday, the 22nd of May. So I always find, under the laws of numerology, that the number 22 plays a significant role in things that I do. It always has done. And I find it very weird, but I can't negate the fact that that is happening. So for this to happen, bear in mind the narrative that went out 3 days earlier that rocketed around the world, that got every country to pretty much go on its knee. This, from what I understand, went unnoticed. It's something that it's the most frivolous way to lose your life by the authorities that I could imagine. It turns out this is all over a neighbour who initially put in a complaint to the police regarding this chap. Now, the way the neighbour had put it across to the police is that there was a domestic going on in this house, and there's raised voices and probably some area of violence about to start, if not already started. So that's going to get the police into an initial stance, you could argue. So they knock on this chap's door, believing that that is the case. And it wasn't. Turned out it wasn't. It turned out that he was with his young girlfriend. He was playing computer games and probably just having a nobble. With it being a state where guns are allowed under sanction, obviously, but they are allowed. I do believe he come to the door with his gun, not in his hand, but I do believe it looks like he may have tried to reach for the gun when the door was opened. So being that it's a place where guns are allowed, there should be a protocol to maybe disarm an individual or let them know that getting that gun is not an option, but without killing them, surely. you have tasers or something. I mean, particularly the policeman that shot this individual. So let me get rid of that. Let me see if we can get this thing going. It's not a nice watch, but it is quite important. So as you can see, it's got all the information there. This is actually body cam footage.
Biggs, please. How you doing? Whoa! Put your hand!
I do believe it wasn't him that shot. It was this man here. So he could see that he couldn't get that gun initially because he was really close to him. Look, to me, it looked like he shot after the fact. The guy was already complying. He was going down to the ground. His hands were, and he just decided to pop him several times in the back. Now, why couldn't he have tasered him? Why could there not have been a taser pointed at him? I mean, you know, I don't live in Arizona, so I can't suddenly tell the people of Arizona that how they live their life is wrong. But initially, you can see where mistakes were made there and where that man could have been apprehended, if that's what you wanted to do, could have been subdued, but without popping 4 to 5 bullets in him. I seriously think that, because this man was only, what, less than 2 feet away from the guy. If he would have acted quickly and swiftly at that point, he could have totally disarmed him without putting anything in him. I do believe that he could have just put him to the floor, literally with his hands. I know, I guess it's easy to say that in a split second, but it also displays how easy it is for the police just to bust off rounds when they don't actually fully know the situation. And you could argue that they're quick to shoot the rounds off before they've got the situation assessed and under control. That's how this instance worked. Now, to say that every instance where a gun is used, no, I'm sure it's a very dangerous place with guns and you can't take too many chances. But this looks so unnecessary, and it's so sad to think that the guy was actually playing a computer game and a neighbour's just set the scene that he's some kind of, you know, violent geezer in his house. And look where he's ended up because of it. Right, so look, he reaches there. Look, now the policeman is actually way behind there, so he's the one who's fully in control. I'm not sure, I think he's seen him, but the bottom line is, if there is a gun there, which it looks like there possibly is, but I guess there was no issue of an illegal gun here, so it's a legal gun, which is allowed to do. He's going to defend himself. This policeman, look how close he is to the situation. Look how much he could have impacted and changed this situation had he acted differently. And look now, I mean, it's easy in hindsight, but just look, he's really on top of him. Well, it's complying. I do believe that's way overboard.
Back away from the gun. Get back and get out here. Come out here. Come out. I'm not going to shoot you. Come out here. Come out here.
Just shot a boyfriend.
Okay. Get down on your knees. Get down on your knees. Just get down. Get down. Relax.
Imagine that.
Was anything going on inside?
So what she's saying is, it's perfectly legal for him to come to the door with a gun, knowing that it's dark and it's probably elements of danger around there. No, I don't advocate just coming to the door like that, but I don't live in Arizona either. So I've got to play it how I see it in the sense that Arizona is different. The way they live their life is different. You've got to acknowledge that. And gun rights is a thing. So we've got to acknowledge that. So the police have got a duty to understand that gun rights is a thing, and every now and then you will get someone that will come to the door if you're knocking at the door at this time of night with a fucking weapon in their hand. So they've got to have a contingency plan, not just giving 3 seconds and then pop him. So what's going on there? I feel for this lady because I don't know how she'll ever get over something like that. I mean, death in a family is bad enough, your spouse dying, but in that nature, when it didn't have to happen.
Because your neighbor called saying that he heard you guys going at it. Arguing, fighting.
Literally, we were making
There you go.
salsa and playing Crash Bandicoot, so there may have been some screaming from PlayStation, but it's
Okay.
it wasn't domestic violence or anything.
Well, and that's how the call came out.
I can't believe the way he's just, well, we've had to pop him because we thought this. His colleague has just shot her boyfriend dead over what they now found out that he's playing a computer game and having a bit of a nobble with his missus making salsa. Seriously?
That's why we knocked on your door.
Baby!
Phoenix Police, this is Steve. How can I?
Now, this is the initial call that the neighbour basically put a death warrant on this guy without any understanding, without knowing anything. And it all turned out because this geezer had to get a good night's sleep because he's got work the next morning. So I hope he got a fucking good night's sleep.
Can I help you?
Hi, Steve. I have a domestic dispute going on, and I can tell that they're just at each other's throats.
Phoenix Police, this is Philip. How can I help you?
Hi, Philip. I called about a half hour ago to report a domestic dispute
What was the address that you gave?
to where the dispute is. Building 12.
Okay, is this
And
in
they
reference
just-
to a male and a female and a verbal?
Oh, yeah, and it's getting really loud, and they've been doing it for the last hour. I got to get it to work tomorrow, and I can't get no sleep. These guys have been noisy constantly. Every time I come back, these guys are noisier than hell. Always
Okay,
fighting.
does it sound like it's escalated to anything physical or still just sounds verbal?
Oh, it could be physical. I could say yeah. Does that make anybody hurry up and get over here any
What
faster?
are you hearing?
So he don't actually know. But he's saying, well, yeah, it's physical if you're going to get round there quick because I've got to get a good night's sleep. So he's up the ante big time and he don't know shit at this point. All he knows is that they're making a bit of noise. I'm not expecting him to knock round there, but you can't start setting the scene, particularly with armed police that are going to go round there gun toting.
Hearing to indicate that it might be physical?
I hear slamming of doors, and I don't know. Somebody could be getting thrown into a door for all I know.
Or it could be just the wind caught the fucking door. Does that mean someone deserves to have a fucking their ass popped?
But I hear all kinds of banging.
Sad. I mean, I don't know the guy. I don't know the guy's politics. It's irrelevant. I mean, for me, he's not done anything wrong there. He's answered the fucking door. And probably brandishing that straight off the pop wasn't the cleverest thing. But the bottom line is I don't live there, so I can't have too much of an opinion. But what people will say in England is this is why it's not a clever idea to have guns, because you've got the cops fucking showing a gun that looks as soon as the wind blows, they'll pull the trigger. And you've got people that will flash guns back at them just because. And it's a sad state of affairs. But ultimately, I do believe in people's right to own a gun. But you can see how precarious it is. Fuck's sake. Rest in peace, this guy, poor guy. Now, I don't know judiciary wise, I don't know where it went, what happened in terms of the police. I don't know what come back on them for this. There should be. I can't say I know. What I will say is that isn't it funny that 3 days later that George Floyd goes through what he goes through and that travels the whole world. One incident, and it lets you know that this must happen up and down with different races. So you can't make the news story the narrative. The news story is the news story, because what you'll find is that that will be countered with another news story like this. This guy, for all intents and purposes, did not deserve to die. I don't know his character, but in this instance, he did not deserve to die. The geezer's skin is white, but yet no one is talking about it because it's not going to have the same weight in pushing a Marxist agenda as it is having a black guy saying, I can't breathe. Now, I understand the nature of his death. It's horrible for his family and for everyone that knew him. But we have to have it right here. A crime is a crime. So why isn't this put up there to be cut down like that in cold blood, pretty much? That is wrong. That, for me, is very wrong. And it's just a shame that we have to scream from the rooftops in order to get the counter argument out a little bit, because people don't want to know because the colour of his skin's not right. And I'm not asked about the colour of anyone's skin, whether it be George's or this geezer's. A crime is a crime, and I'll duly slam the police on both occasions. But then I've got to take weight with both as well, in terms of if we're going to build a narrative, we'll build a narrative about the police protocol, the way they treat people, not people of colour, fucking people, because you can see it's happening to people of all demographics. Anyway, guys, that is my 2 pence. I bid you a good day. And do remember that we're all human beings, guys, and shouldn't have to do this. Shouldn't have to propagate a crime because of the guy's colour of the guy's skin. A crime is a crime. It's just a pity that narratives don't really thrive off crime. They thrive off the political freaking spin they can get off it. Love you all, even the pissing haters. Take care, guys. Have a great day.
I love you. 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 I love you.
Even the pissing haters.
I love you. 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 I love you.